Hi everyone, Michelle Angelique, Truth and Integrity Warrior. Today is April 2nd, 2020, and I wanted to go over how I make my liquid mineral mix that I distribute under the tongue. I do it once to twice a day. It makes all the difference in the world. You can feel the difference, and I want to show people how easy it is to actually make your own minerals. You can go check with your doctor, your nutritionist, anybody you need to check with if you're concerned about what you're seeing me do. But I've been doing this for 2 years, and my before and afters are incredible, and not just what I look like, but what I feel like is completely different. And I'm better knowing how to do this for myself than being dependent and not knowing the ingredients or what I'm actually buying when I'm getting at the store with components that I don't want in my minerals or vitamins or anything that's going to help me or supposed to be helping me. I have substances that shouldn't be in there that actually help only to break down the body. So while we think we're doing something good, we've got something piggybacking off of that, not giving us the full benefit that we should be getting when we make it really clean. And so this is a very clean way to make your liquid minerals. People can make this differently, but this is how I make it. And let's begin. On the very bottom, I'm going to post everything, the amounts, quantities, ratios, what everything is. I don't want to go through that. I have another video where I show what I put in there, and it's my liquid mineral mix on Truth and Integrity Warrior on YouTube. Right here, I'm just going to show how I start mixing and how actually easy this is. I didn't wear any gloves, and I did that to show that this is not dangerous. When people are not used to using minerals, so they're not sure what they're working with, and they don't know. You got to have a lab coat and glasses and crazy gloves. I do use gloves when I'm preparing my products, but this is just an example, a demonstration to show that you don't have to be worried about what you are working with that's going in the body. It's going to give us a benefit that we're looking for. So I like to start off with a glass container. Then I like to mix things in glass. If you don't have glass, you use plastic, and then I'll pour it into a glass. Is the best thing for preservation. So after I've done making it, I can put it in something like this. This was a bottle you can get for your olive oil. Clean it out, and you have a nice little top. Keep it in a dry, cool storage, and you got your large amount of liquid mineral mix that you're going to shake up all the ingredients, pour it into your dropper, and then this dropper is what you're going to be, how you're going to be administrating, or it's how I administrate my liquid vitamins or minerals for myself. There's a difference between minerals and vitamins. They work together. Enzymes, amino acids, proteins, all these things work together, but they're all tools necessary for the body to get to work, to build up, to get strong, to feel right, to do right, think right. I say that in all my videos because all those things are happening once we give the body tools that it needs to go to work, to get all these processes and all these functionalities that it takes to be a healthy human being working right. And so this is one, and this is a liquid mineral mix. So I have right here, always have next to yourself what the proportions are. And before you ever get started with anything that you're mixing, because you want to make sure that you got some kind of system. And I'm going to show how I do my system to make sure that I don't forget what I did or what I didn't do. And just create some kind of necessary order. You don't want to double up on something that you didn't pay attention to that you already got in there. So I'm just going to show you how I do it. There's 2 ways to do this. You can do it with a scale. And I will have at the bottom posted what it is by weight and what it is by teaspoon and half teaspoon. So a lot of people don't have scales, so we're not going to use a scale today. We're going to use it by teaspoons, measurement by teaspoons, and liquids with ounces. And the reason why is because most people can get a hold of what is a measuring cup and a teaspoon, but not everybody has a scale. So let's get started. I always work with starting off with my base, and the base will be, or the base that I use is distilled water and vegetable glycerin. This is what I get started with. So I like pairing things up. You'll see that I pair everything up in the description below so that everything works together, and there, like I said, that order of operation. So my first order of operation, I start with the distilled water. I always put my cups on a flat surface so that I get the right measurement. And so it's 16 ounces is what I use. I use 16 ounces of distilled water. And you check, right here is 1 cup, so that's 8 ounces. So you're going to put that in your container that you're going to be mixing everything with. And then here's my other 8 ounces, making 16 ounces. I put that you can do anywhere from 16 to 32 ounces of water, meaning if you want something more diluted, you can add more water. But I put at least 16 ounces to get a good, where it's not too much or too little, but it's just works great. Like I said, I've been doing it for a while now, and 16 ounces is pretty much what I use. Not pretty much, it is what I use. But you can add more water if you want. It's also it will be in the description below. Then I go with the vegetable glycerin. I really won't be talking too much about what everything does because it was really long and there's so much to go into each one. I'll do another video where it's just talking about what minerals do and how they work in the body. Not from a medical perspective. I'll put all the medical information. Shouldn't even say medical because medicine doesn't really respect or honor what it is, vitamins and minerals and all these things. They just think they just magically appear in the body instead of recognizing that we got to get it from a natural source, our food source. But our food source don't have it anymore, so we gotta start working with this. And like I said, the supplements at the store, they got so much stuff inside of it. It's actually countering, piggybacking. Piggybacking, meaning that it's supposed to be good, it goes into the cell, but then it got aluminum backed up into it and it's going into the cell. We don't need that. We don't want that. And so making them clean like this is what's necessary. And so like I said, I'm not going to go too much into what everything does, just going to try to run through. I say that more for myself because goddamn, I can keep talking. I just keep talking and keep talking. So we're going to do 2 ounces. And you're going to look on your cup, it has ounces. I usually do everything by weight. In fact, I do everything by weight, but this one I'm going to be doing by measurement. It's right there. And it's taking me a little bit, like I said, I'm not used to using measuring cups. I'm used to using weight. And you bring it back down. You look at it, you got your, size it up where you need it. You don't have to be crazy exact. You don't have to be. But I like to be. Just how I like to do things. I don't have, I'm not in my home, so I don't have all the tools that I normally work with. But if you have one of those spatulas, those cake spatulas that scrape around, that's the best thing to have. It really gets everything, it gets everything scraped off the sides. It's absolutely the best. But like I said, I'm not in my home. I live in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. I'm here in San Diego right now, where I'm originally from, but right here I don't have all the tools. So if you don't have all the tools, it's still okay. We're going to make it happen. So that's the base, right? So we got the water and the vegetable glycerin. The distilled water, very important, distilled water. Distilled water is the cleanest water, and out of that clean water, it will pick up all the properties that you're going to be putting into it, which will be all these minerals and all these things are going to help benefit the body. Like I said, I can go into water, but that will be a whole nother video. Always have a rag. It's important to always clean up as you go. Next one is going to be 2 ounces of chlorophyll. And this is the next ones I pair up. I pair up the chlorophyll because in the liquid chlorophyll you get the copper. And then I pair up with the zinc citrate. And zinc and copper work together. And so that's why I pair them up. And it's the next thing that I put in. You want to shake your liquid chlorophyll. The brands that I use, it's on the other video. Like I said, it goes close up to each of the products I get. And I get these because I either like them because of how they present themselves, but all of them are like them because they're clean. They're the cleanest I can find. Meaning no other substances that could be compromising to the product. And so we're going to do 2 ounces of chlorophyll. I usually, like I said, have a clean container for everything that I use when I'm making products. But I'm using what I got. It's coronavirus time, and it's not like you can just jump to the store and get what you want and actually find it. So we're going to use what we got. It's still the same products. What I did is I wiped up a little bit of the vegetable glycerin because I didn't have that spatula to get everything off the sides. And I'm going to go to 2 ounces of liquid chlorophyll. Now you have your 2 ounces. Like I said, I like to be exact as I can. But if you're not exact, it's not really that big of a deal. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to start flopping on the floor like a fish. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. It's just, I like my mixes to come out the same every time. I like to get the same, know that I'm going to feel the same because I'm making it the same every time. Next one, it is the zinc oxide. So what I was explaining, what I like to do is I like to move everything, and I didn't do it right now, but I'm gonna get that done right now. So when I'm done with something, like I'm done with the distilled water, I'm gonna move it to the side. And I'm done with the vegetable glycerin, I'm gonna move it to the side. Usually in my work area, my workstation, I have tables where I just move things to another table, so it's not even in my work area because I'm finished with it, I'm done with it. I don't like to keep it in the same area that I've still got to work with. So I'm done with the chlorophyll, I'm going to put it to the side. The next one, now we're going to start using what are the mineral salts, and these are going to be by measurements of teaspoons, and 1 teaspoon and half teaspoon is what I have on the recipe that I use, or the formula that I use. And so for the zinc citrate, it's 1 teaspoon, or 5 grams if you were measuring it. But 5 grams equals 1 teaspoon. So, wow, I close these really tight. There we go, got a good seal on it. Zinc citrate, 1 teaspoon. I always look, double check, and I triple check, quadruple check. I'm a checker like that. And so you get your 1 teaspoon measurement, and you just pour it. It's that simple. Right? So I put it to the side, close it up. My zinc citrate and my chlorophyll. So I get my copper, those are done, and they're to the side. That's how I know I'll go finishing everything, is because I start removing the pairs, and then I go to the next pair. And the next pair is going to be magnesium sulfate and borax. So here's my borax. And here's my magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate's Epsom salt, keep it short. A lot of people are concerned about taking Epsom salt and magnesium sulfate because they think they're going to just, try not to say strong words, but they think they're going to shit themselves, and you're not. You're not going to shit yourself. If you have a problem and you need something, it will help the body push it out, right? But if you take it and you don't have that problem, it's not going to create that help, because you don't need that help. It's amazing how the body works. The body knows what it needs and knows how to apply it and where things go, and it just works on its own. But we don't give it the tools it needs so that it can work and it can function. Alright, going back. Magnesium sulfate, Epsom salt, and the borax. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of magnesium sulfate. I'll get a little rag right here because I like to make sure that if I use a teaspoon, it's clean and it goes to the next mineral. And nothing's going to happen if they get mixed, but I don't like mixing. I like things to be clean and separate. You can mix when it's in the container where they're all supposed to mix. So right here is 1 teaspoon of magnesium sulfate, and my formula goes for 2. So here's the second one. Put this to the side. Close this magnesium sulfate up. Move it to the side. Done with that. And here we go. Next one's going to be borax. And it's funny because right now people are like, borax is a soap, you know, because we're used to seeing it in the cleaning aisle. I'm going to do another video on how easily we have been, how deceptive the system has been to make sure that the stuff that we see as cleaning supplies are made to look like they're toxic, but actually they do a lot of cleaning in the body, in the cells. And in the past, they used to do that and they knew that. But ever since they started changing the medical system, minerals and vitamins started becoming dangerous or toxic or became soap products. Or I'm going to go into another video and show the evidence on that, on how it used to be used in the medical industry in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, and then just started eradicating. And then we started going into this new understanding that chemicals are supposed to fix the body instead of natural elements are supposed to fix the body. Maintain the body. Don't even need to fix it, just maintains it. But we're so broken now, we need to fix. We need to fix these operations. So back, borax, I use 5 grams equals 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to do 1 teaspoon. Like that. Got a little rock bubble, doesn't really matter, or just like a little rock, it's alright. Goes right in there. Wipe up my spoon. Close up my borax. Move it to the side. Clean up my area. Then we got 10 grams or 2 teaspoons of potassium citrate, which is right here. And then I pair that up with sodium chloride. So, potassium citrate, I'm going to do the same thing, 2 teaspoons. Remember, a teaspoon and a tablespoon are not the same thing. A lot of people don't know how to work in the kitchen, or people that don't know how to work in the kitchen, not usually there. 1 teaspoon is not the same as 1 tablespoon. The sizes are completely different, so make sure you're using teaspoons like it says if you're going to be making this mix. You know, you take full responsibility if you make this mix. Michelle's not telling you to make the mix for yourself. Michelle's telling you, I am telling you how I make this for myself. But if you choose to, it's a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. So, potassium citrate. 2 teaspoons, here's 1. And here's a second one. Close that up. Done. Next one, sodium chloride. I've never used sodium chloride in tablet form before. It's always been loose, the one I get in Mexico. So here I had to figure out how it works, but it's pretty simple. It's 1 of these tablets equals a gram, and my formula, I use 5 grams, so I'm using 5 tablets. If 1 tablet is a gram, and I use 5 grams, it's 5 tablets. So it's, because it's, again, if you are using the loose kind of sodium chloride, which would be like the powder form or the salt form like you saw the other ones, 5 grams would be 1 teaspoon. But in this case, it's 5 tablets, a gram apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You gotta be careful because chlorophyll will stain your clothes, and I just felt a little green pop up. So wearing an apron works when you work with chlorophyll. So I'm done with the sodium chloride. Sodium chloride and potassium, I'm going to bring this back up because this matters. This is a detail I'm going to go into other videos, but it matters to say this right now. Our salts, and the reason why we've been trained to believe that salt is bad for the body is because sea salt was taken off and then table salt was introduced. And table salt was sodium chloride, which is 1 mineral of over 90 minerals. So there's so many minerals in sea salt, right? But what they did is they took just 1 sodium chloride, right here, and then they put potassium in there, but it's supposed to be more potassium, less sodium chloride ratio for the body to work and function, right? But they got more sodium chloride, less potassium, causes all kinds of problems in the body, but because we do it for all of our lives. We've been doing it for all of our lives. We've been eating that table salt for generations after generations. So some bodies, you know, everybody's body has different tolerances. Some people swell up under the eyes, but what swell up in the body, some people die because of excess water retention, you know, and it's like, oh, salt is bad, salt is dangerous, when salt is absolutely necessary for full functioning operations in the body, you know. All of our electrical connections that are sending relay information in the body comes from electrolyte processes, and electrolytes need to be made either by an acid or a salt or a combination of the two. And our minerals, our sea salt or minerals that we have, these are salts. So it's like salt types, right? But sodium chloride is known as salt. And so when we hear don't eat salt, we're thinking, oh, I can't have anything, you know. Any sea salt having all of those wonderful minerals that help the body. We have now a confusion between sea salt and table salt, and we think all salts are bad. No, it's sodium chloride with a ratio that's not right with the potassium in our table salt is a problem. And then on top of that problem, they're also putting fluoride in the sea salt. So it's just really, and there's other stuff that they put in there that shouldn't be in, it should not be in our table salt, that it shouldn't be in our body. So I should say it shouldn't be in our body. And so it's a mess. And so I don't touch table salt unless I need it for, I don't know, some type of project for cleaning or something, but not my body, because it just comes unbalanced. Ratios aren't right. Sea salt. If you're going to have salt in your house, be it sea salt. Alright, so we finished off with potassium citrate and sodium chloride. The next one I put in there, I put in ascorbic acid and taurine. It's my other pair right here. You know, I should say a lot of people don't know that ascorbic acid is what we call vitamin C. And then a lot of people don't know that the vitamin C usually, not all the time, but usually comes from a corn derivative. And so people are like, oh, I don't like corn. I don't like the high lectins in corn either because it causes an effect in my body. And that's another video for something else, the high lectins. But when we take something that's of a natural source and it gets synthesized into something else, it starts changing. Yeah. And so if I don't eat corn because it causes an effect on me, a negative effect because of the high lectins, it doesn't mean I can't use this because it became from a source of corn. And that's a much longer video to explain what that means and what I mean by it. Like, I can't have raw almonds because of their high lectins, but I can have an almond milk that has gone through a heating process. Well, it won't cause the same thing because the heat broke down the lectins in the almonds. And so that's just giving an example of why some people will be like, well, I don't need ascorbic acid because it comes from a derivative of corn. Well, our bodies are getting hit real hard with a bunch of toxins where I can't just depend on an orange to give me the vitamin C that I need. So I need something stronger because I got strong stuff hitting my body. You know, we all got strong stuff hitting our body. From toxins in the environment, in our food, the products. Even if we lessen them, even if we keep 100% in our household, the things that we know are good for us, we still got to live in the outside world, you know? So go eat at somebody's house, we still go eat out, we go outside and breathe in this air, we're in the house, we're breathing this air. There's a lot of things bombarding the body. I got other videos talking about that. And I'm making more videos on more information on that. But ascorbic acid, vitamin C, a lot of people are going to have a lot of different opinions on it. But that opinion's mine. I use it. Alright. Ascorbic acid, 10 grams. So you need 2 teaspoons. You can use the side of your container to kind of level it out if you need to. So that you have your teaspoon of ascorbic acid. Drop in there. So it's going to be 2. That's 1. And right now, this stuff is gold. And all this stuff is gold because it's hard to get minerals right now, especially because of, well, it's because of the coronavirus. People are starting to pay attention that their bodies need some. So finding this stuff wasn't that easy for me, as it usually is. And here's the second one, second vitamin C. say ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid, vitamin C, we're talking about the same thing. So put this down to the side because I'm done. Wipe up my area. Next one is taurine. Taurine is an amino acid. I said I wasn't going to talk about these things, but I can't help it. I'm just going to talk a little bit. Taurine is an amino acid that comes from, that we can only get into the body from dairy and meats. And a lot of vegans and vegetarians, or some vegetarians, not all, but especially vegans, they need that amino acid for functions of the heart, ATP, all kinds of reasons that the body, you can look up what taurine does for the body and why the body needs it. And if you don't get that amino acid into the body, it's not going to pair up with other tools in the body, you know, enzymes and other amino acids to make proteins, and all these things interconnect and become interchangeable and then become something else. And so if we're missing one element, it's like having a hammer and don't have the nail, you know, or having the screw and not the screwdriver. It's like pointless. You need both of them to create an action to get something created. And so taurine's missing in the diets of vegans. Here we go. And I just say that so that people can check out, you know, what properties of taurine and the importance of having it in the body. So it's for taurine, I would go back and look, 1 teaspoon. Finish the taurine, put that away. Next one is the Lugol's iodine and the selenium. A lot of information you can find out about Lugol's iodine and selenium. These guys are also pairs. Pairs meaning that the body, it's like a seesaw. All the pairs that you kind of, well, not all the pairs, but a lot of the pairs that you saw me pairing up, they are like seesaw. One needs the other, and they keep each other balanced. That's the best way I can explain it. You can find all the medical terms and information on that. But if we visualize it like a seesaw, you can't have one kid that's heavier than the other kid because it always stays like that. Like the table saw, the ratios are wrong, right? You got to get this balance going on. You got to get this play. And the iodine, the selenium, they work together. And so for the Lugol's iodine, I shake everything when it comes to liquids. It's important, even if it doesn't tell you to shake it. It's good to get everything moving around. It's 40 drops. You know, watch me do 40 drops, but I'm going to do it. Ready? And I like to do, I didn't bring it right here, I don't have it right here right now in front of me. I do like to have a separate container when it comes to the drops to make sure that if I miss a count or something like that, I'm not putting it in here. Alright? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to improvise. I'm going to use the glycerin and chlorophyll that I had in here, and I'm going to put it in here. And I just do that for extra surety. There's a lot of stuff in here that I don't want to be like, oh, I forgot what I counted on. So it's 40 of the Lugol's iodide. I'm going to start counting right now. There's 20. There's 30. That's 40 right there. Especially right now, I wish I had one of those cake, like I said, those things that, cake scrapers to get everything off. I'm going to look for something at the end of this. Make sure I get everything in there. Alright, and so that was the Lugol's. Finish the Lugol's. I'm going to get it off the table so that I know that I did not forget to get that in there. Because once you have it all like this, you don't know, what you did put, what you didn't. And so doing this system, I find to be, it's important. There we go. And now we got the 40 drops of Lugol's. Now I'm going to put in the 20 drops of selenium. That's 10. And that's 20. Alright, so now I'm going to put this away, the selenium. The body works with all of these elements and creates a very strong immune system because, like I said, I got the tools to work with now. Not just the immune system, but all kinds of every operation in the body. And it's not just these, it's a whole array of them. These are just some of them. And this is one that I do. And I wanted to say something about what's going on with the coronavirus. Looking for chemicals to fight a virus is one thing, and that's what our medical system has been and trained to do, and I understand, you know, the doctors are just going and learning, and they're being taught what they learn. But we're teaching, what being taught in the medical school is a symptom to a chemical, and that symptom to a chemical to find a solution is one route, right? And we see that where that's taken us. We see where that's going. You know, we're all at the end of a freaking trash heap, you know, all broken. And the another route is a problem can be a deficiency. That deficiency is because something is missing, you know. If you have a nail but you don't have a hammer, it might be a deficiency of a hammer, so you might need to add the hammer to assist the nail to get in to where it's trying to go. And so when the medical system, you know, it's been entrained to take the nutrients out of the spectrum, out of the limelight, because then people would actually get healed and not be sick, be strong, and there's no money in that. There's no money for the system that's been set up like that, right? Where it's a corporate system, and that corporate system makes money, and like cattle, the more sick, the more money. The more sick, the more money. And then they die, and then more people come, and then it's like cattle, and then you got more, and you're making more money. And so it's up to every individual to see things for what they are, get perspective to see it different ways, and then make a choice and make a decision. Usually we don't see those things until something's hit us really hard in the face, or, you know, something pushes us to have to look. And so, getting off of that and coming back to the liquid mineral mix. I have everything that I use, and right here is something called Acetylsalicylic acid, which is clean aspirin, the cleanest you're going to get. I like this brand. I've seen a lot, and this is a brand I like. They have a Aniprin P and Aniprin F. F is for flavor, P is for plain, and that's all that P means. And so it's plain. A lot of people like aspirin, a lot of people don't like aspirin. And the reason I use the aspirin is because it's an anti-inflammatory, helps thin the blood. There's so much debris, things that shouldn't be in the blood, and it helps the blood move a little smoother. And so if you're allergic to this, obviously, if you have any problems with any of these things, go talk to your doctor before you make any decisions. If you're allergic to aspirin, you're not going to put it in there. I use it, I've been using it, and it works very well for me. No joint pains, no aches, it's just incredible. And this past month I haven't had any of my liquid minerals. This is the first time in 2 years I haven't had any liquid minerals. I got hip pains, I got shoulder pains, I got knee pains, and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable how all these pains started, you know, hitting me, and I'm just like, I'm not even working hard. Where's this coming from? Well, I'm always working hard, but I mean, not that kind of hard where I'm going to get hip pain, you know, not doing anything to cause that kind of pain in my hip, and that it doesn't go away. That's the worst part, you know. It's not like, oh, I might have hit a wall or something like that, or a corner. You can feel it. It's in there deep, you know. And so, you, like I said, you can feel the difference when you start taking these. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in there because I'm used to it. I like it, and I'm actually going to post on the bottom information about a video with Tony Pataresco talking about aspirin. He does it very well. You're not going to be able to Google and find this information. You know, there's a conflict of interest with Google. It works with pharmaceuticals, and so there's going to be a conflict of interest. You're not going to find the information right off the bat right there. You got to do a lot of digging, and Tony Pataresco has done a lot of digging, has a lot of information that is not on the front page of Google. Okay, so I'm going to put that on so that you can get more information about a lot of these things that I'm using right now. So I use 2.5 grams, which is half a teaspoon. So I get my half a teaspoon out, my half a teaspoon measurement, and I put that right in there. Close that up, put it away, and I'm done with that. Now, because I've never used those sodium chloride tablets before, I'm sure they're chunky and they're going to have to break down in there. But I always use a hand blender anyways, without the tablet form. So I put my hand blender in there. I'm going to put that on right now. If you don't have a hand blender, just mix it by hand. Let the mineral salts dissolve. They will never completely dissolve, but what happens is after time it just, it's like any flavoring, it just becomes part of the solution. Trying to see if I can break up these tablets. Okay, they seem to have dissolved pretty well. Or got broken up pretty well anyways. Alright. So I'm going to look underneath. Wish you could see it. So what you'll see is just a little residual, you know, just a little residual. That's what I mean by it won't dissolve completely. But what's going on is getting it in the body is what matters. Let your body do the rest of the breakdown of what it needs. It's not chunky. It's not like it's a ton of mass. It dissolves really well, but you'll always see a little bit of something. So what I do is I take my bottle, and that'll be the one that I'm going to be using on a regular basis. I already cleaned it and washed it, and you know, when I got it from the store, I rinsed it and then put it to dry. I like to do that. And then you just pour. My God, I miss these things. 1 month and something else. I'm going to take some right now. These droppers don't fill up all the way. So you can count how many drops your dropper will be. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's about 9 to 10 drops, right? The dropper I have at home in San Luis, Mexico, is 15. I get about 15 drops per. So that's kind of how you'll know, you know, how many drops you're doing a day. So I just take it like that, put it right under my tongue. I never let the glass hit my my mouth. Wow, I miss that taste. Once you like something because you know the benefit, you really don't care what it tastes like, but it actually doesn't taste bad at all. What I'm recognizing right now is I got too much in the bottle. I'll put it somewhere out. Alright. Oh, I miss that taste. Because I know the benefit. I know how, just like on the go, I'm just like, pop out of bed in the morning. I can't even pop out of bed in the morning no more. I totally feel the difference. You know, I gotta think about getting out of bed. And for me, it doesn't even matter if it's coronavirus time. With all the more reason I gotta get up and get to work and get busy, get things done. There's more things to do now than before. That's another video. That's another video. But this is your mineral mix. You're gonna put it in here, you're gonna store it in here. You don't need to put it in the refrigerator or anything. It stays well. The chlorophyll too, you just put in a nice dry area. Out of direct sunlight, out of heat. You don't want to put it in a hot place. That goes for your chlorophyll too, your bottle of chlorophyll. Pour. And what I'm recognizing, it might not fit in here. Might have more than I thought. But it gives you an idea, you know, how to store it. You can buy yourself a really nice glass container. This is really nice, you know. It's a good way to upcycle your stuff. And then you put a label on it. I like to put the date on everything. My stuff never lasts. I give it to my friends, I give it to my neighbors, my family. My stuff goes quick. And for kids, everybody's going to be different. For big men, it's going to be different as far as how much, you know, to put in the body. One pause. I have to make sure my video is still on. Yeah, it is. So for myself, I do about 15 to 30 drops per day. I got an extra hustle in a day. I'll come in the afternoon, get a little bit more. But pretty much I do good with one a day. What I was learning from, I could do less. I could do less and have it spread out throughout the day. But I just take 15 drops first thing in the morning. I wake up in the morning. I do a little vinegar with water for pH balance in the body. So it's, let's say 16 ounces of water with a teaspoon of vinegar, any vinegar. I use the most distilled is the best for staying away from as much nano as possible. Another video, another time. You can use any vinegar, it's okay. Add that teaspoon into your 16 ounces of water. When you drink that in the morning, that's the first thing I drink. I have it in my refrigerator. First thing I drink, goes in, nice clean start in your day, and it regulates all your pHs. So we have different pHs in the body, and all of them start adjusting the way they're supposed to be. The body works automatically when it has that acid in there. The acid in the stomach starts working and gets to its pH where it's supposed to be around anywhere from the 1 and the 3 as far as pH. Then we have the blood, about a 7.3, 7.38, anywhere around there, and you get your regulated blood. Then you got your saliva, and then we have, what else do we got? We have saliva, we have blood, we have stomach acid, and urine. So all of those things get regulated just with that little vinegar in the morning. It's amazing. You can also do a lemon with water in the morning, first thing. And you don't have to chug the whole bottle. You just get a good 2 big swigs. That's what I do. And not only does it help regulate your pH, you don't stink when you sweat. I don't use deodorant. I haven't used deodorant in, I can't even remember since I learned this. And that's over 15 years ago. Can sweat and not smell. Now if I ate something that's smelly and I sweat, I'm gonna smell. It's gonna give off. But in general, I don't smell. And I'm not saying that because I'm bragging or anything. It's just so that people can learn that little technique, regulate pH, and stop using deodorant. Those deodorants got a whole lot of problems. There's some good deodorants out there, but I don't want to get out into off topic. I can really go off topic, huh? So much stuff to talk about, and I want to try to get it all in there. But this is how I make my liquid mineral mix. It helps me, it helps my family. I forgot to go back. I gotta go back. I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about grown men, how much they take, and kids. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a specialist in any of these things. If you got a good, what are they called, homeopath or nutritional specialist, that's the best. The doctor won't even know what to do with it because most likely they don't take anything like it, and they got a big old belly and their hair's falling out and their body's all fucked up. Ask somebody who knows something, you know, if you want some second opinion or some advice. I can tell you what I do, and for my little girl, 5 drops under her tongue. She's 10. And for my 14-year-old, he's really, really tall, thin and really tall, and I give him anywhere from 10 to 15. And once a day. And I'll do up to 2 a day, 2 droppers of 15, so that'll be up to about 30 drops. And for grown men, you know, I haven't given it to any grown men. I don't got no big men in my around me, so I don't know. Maybe try what I'm doing. You know, that's just a suggestion. Try the 15, try the 30. If you feel you're not feeling anything, go upscale. You know, you got more body mass, you got more ground to cover, more terrain. But up until now, this has worked incredible. I'm looking for a medical doctor. Actually, I found a medical doctor who is also a holistic doctor, so he's both. And I want to get this, I want a third opinion. You know, I worked with somebody to help me make this, and I appreciate that person. I actually created this, as far as created the combination. I was missing an element, and that person helped me with that element. I got that in there. And now I want to take it to the next level and get a MD / holistic doctor to give another validation about this liquid mineral vitamin that I make, or not vitamin, but the liquid mineral formula that I make. And if you have any experiences with this, you got any comments you want to make, please put them in the, type it up. Because it's not about me knowing everything or me having everything right. It's just about trying to get it right. And we're all trying to just get it right and share what we know, share what we have, share what we're doing for ourselves. And this is how I'm sharing with you what I do for me. This is Truth and Integrity Warrior, Michelle Angelique. Be well, be strong.